The drama surrounding Caitlin Clark's return is not just about a player stepping back onto the court. It is about what happens when a generational talent is forced to stop, to sit with silence, to confront doubt, and then to reintroduce herself to the game she once dominated without resistance. 4 months. The spotlight that once followed her everywhere went dark. The packed arenas, the constant buzz, the feeling that every possession belonged to her all disappeared. In their place came rehab rooms, empty gyms, and long stretches of uncertainty. That absence reshaped her in ways that box scores never could, and her return at USA basketball camp marked the beginning of something deeper than a simple comeback. For the first time in months, Caitlin Clark spoke openly, not as the unstoppable phenomenon, but as someone who had been stripped of rhythm, routine, and identity. Her favorite thing this offseason was not an award, a deal, or recognition. It was simply playing basketball again. Smiling on the court. Feeling the ball in her hands. That detail alone reveals everything about what she went through. When a player who shattered records and dominated headlines finds joy in the basics, it tells you the journey humbled her. It slowed her down just enough to let perspective catch up. Her rookie season was historic in every sense. 62 records fell in a single year, not nudged aside but obliterated. Night after night, she forced analysts into impossible comparisons, rewriting expectations for what a rookie could be. That pace was relentless. There was no pause, no off switch, no time to process what was happening. Then came her sophomore season, and with it, the reality that even the most durable careers eventually collide with the limits of the body. A right groin strain, a left quad injury, groin issues on both sides, and finally, a bone bruise in her left ankle that shut everything down. 13 games into a season that was supposed to build on greatness, it ended. The physical pain was only part of it. The mental shift was far worse. Going from the center of the basketball universe to a silent observer is a shock few players are prepared for. The noise vanished. The adrenaline disappeared. Every day became about patience instead of performance. Rehab replaced competition, and questions followed her everywhere. Would she feel the same again? Would the confidence return? Would the explosiveness still be there when it mattered? Those months off the court became an education she never asked for but desperately needed. Watching teammates struggle through their own injuries changed her understanding of the game entirely. She saw frustration up close. She saw how much effort it takes just to get back to practice, let alone a game. She learned that toughness is not always loud and dramatic. Sometimes it is quiet consistency, showing up, checking in, pushing through pain that nobody sees. That experience deepened her empathy and reshaped how she views leadership. It is no longer just about shots made or records broken. It is about presence, support, and investment in people when nothing is being celebrated. For someone who had gone nearly 7 straight years without missing meaningful time, the isolation of injury was a shock to the system. It forced her to learn how to care for her body in ways she never had to before. Taught her patience. It taught her restraint. Most importantly, it taught her that leadership exists even when you are not playing. She became the teammate who checked in first, the one who sent messages, the one who understood exactly what silence feels like when the game moves on without you. By the time she arrived at USA basketball camp, this was no longer just about shaking off rust. This was her first senior-level camp, the beginning of a new Olympic cycle, surrounded by veterans with medals and young stars with everything to prove. The stakes were real. Every drill mattered. Every movement was evaluated. Coaches watched closely for hesitation, for doubt, for signs that the injuries had left a permanent mark. Questions followed her onto the floor. Could she still create separation? Would the shot fall? Would her conditioning hold up under pressure? The answer came quickly. From the moment she touched the ball, the comfort returned. Not because the journey had been easy, but because she had done the work. Rehab had not been passive. It was relentless. She did not rush back. She rebuilt herself piece by piece. And when the scrimmages began, the doubts evaporated. Her movements were sharp. Her passes arrived on time. Her shooting touch looked familiar. There was no visible fear. No hesitation. Just flow. Kara Lawson's system was built for a player like Clark. Pace. Decision-making. Everything emphasized basketball intelligence and instinct. The court opened up for her in ways that reminded everyone why she changed the sport in the first place. Coaches noted her effectiveness on both ends, her engagement defensively, her communication, her leadership. This was not just the same Caitlin Clark from before. This was a more complete version. Her presence alongside familiar faces brought comfort in an otherwise intense environment. Long-standing relationships eased the pressure and allowed her to settle in naturally. The camp itself reflected a generational shift, blending Olympic experience with young stars ready to shape the future. Competition was fierce, but the energy was collaborative. Clark thrived in that space, not forcing anything, allowing the game to come back to her. Beyond the court, her growth was just as evident. When asked about the broader landscape of the WNBA and its future, she spoke with clarity and balance. She understood that progress requires both advocacy and excellence. Fighting for what players deserve matters, but so does delivering a product fans want to watch. That awareness sets her apart. She understands that excitement, engagement, and quality basketball fuel everything else. Her decision to prioritize health over rushing back was part of that mindset. Sustainability over short-term noise. The months away also gave her a front-row seat to the league's growth. Attendance rose. Ratings climbed. New audiences arrived. She saw firsthand how interconnected individual impact and league success really are. That realization shaped how she now approaches her role. Not just as a scorer, but as a steward of the game. Someone who understands that influence comes with responsibility. What stands out most is how injury transformed her leadership style. She no longer measures impact solely through performance. She values connection, empathy, and consistency. Coaches noticed it. Teammates felt it. These qualities build culture. They create trust. They win championships in ways numbers never fully explain. Caitlin Clark's return is not a reset. It is an evolution. The step-back threes are still there. The vision is still elite. But now they are paired with patience, maturity, and a deeper understanding of what it means to lead. Sometimes the most important growth happens when the game is taken away and you are forced to rediscover why you love it in the first place. Now the question turns to you. How big do you think this next chapter will be for Caitlin Clark? And what does this version of her mean for Team USA and the WNBA moving forward? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let the conversation continue. And if you want to follow